In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at BYD's ultimate luxury brand. This is going to be a tough video to get through. Yangwang is the ultimate brand of BYD, and that's how I'm pronouncing their name. There are rumors that they plan to start selling vehicles in Europe under a different name, and honestly, their model naming strategy is not that great either. U8 is where we're going to start off. That's their ultra SUV that can be had as either a premium luxury edition or off-road. Production started late in 2023. A common misunderstanding of this SUV: it is not a battery electric vehicle. It is a series plug-in hybrid. Some might call it an extended range EV. I'll get to the powertrain details in a minute. Size-wise, the Yangwang U8 is roughly the same size as the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, the Range Rover, and the Rivian R1S, but smaller than the upcoming all-electric Cadillac Escalade IQ. The U8 from the side has a look and profile that is reminiscent of some other premium off-road SUVs, with a spare tire hanging off the rear and good approach and departure angles. The front-end styling is very unique, though. They call the headlight and taillight design interstellar, with D-pillar has lights that indicate when this plug-in hybrid is charging. It's called the energy tower design. The U8 can perform tank turns, kind of a neat trick that could prove useful in some unusual off-road situations, but mostly it's just cool. And yes, it will wear out the tires if you do it on pavement. Now, Rivian had planned to do this, but they changed their minds. Mercedes is coming out with an all-electric version of the G-Wagon, and the concept has been shown doing the same thing. We'll find out in a few months whether that feature makes it to their production model. Now, about that powertrain. Land Rover offers a plug-in hybrid version of the Range Rover, but it's a more traditional parallel plug-in hybrid design. The gas engine drives the wheels through a transmission and a drive shaft like most other vehicles, but it also has an electric motor that's added to boost the efficiency. In the case of the Range Rover, it can drive up to 51 miles on electricity alone, and you can recharge it like an electric. The U8 is different than that. It's more like the old Chevrolet Volt with a V, or the old BMW i3 with the optional range extender. Or it's like the Ram Ramcharger powertrain that was announced a couple of months ago. In a series plug-in hybrid, the gas engine only acts as a generator to charge the large EV battery. It's an electric vehicle first, with a range extender gas engine that does not drive the wheels at all. It just recharges the battery, and the electric motors provide all the power. And power it has lots of, nearly 1,200 horsepower from 4 electric motors. It has a smaller battery than the Ramcharger, so it has a shorter all-electric range. The U8 range is specified using the CLTC test schedule, which is very optimistic. If you ran it on the EPA test, I would only expect it to have about 85 miles of range or less, but that's only an estimate. There is no conversion from one test to the other. The battery of the U8 is BYD's very popular Blade design with lithium iron phosphate chemistry. LFP batteries are less energy dense than NCM chemistry that most other premium brands use. They are cheaper though, and more robust, so there are some advantages of the LFP batteries, but weight and energy density is their downside. So this premium extended range EV uses the battery that is considered the cheaper alternative, but still very good. Something to think about. The U8 can put lots of power out, but once that battery is low at a state of charge, the engine is going to have to work hard to keep up and put power back into the battery. We do not know the size of the generator that's attached to the engine. In real-world driving, you could get into a situation where this vehicle is power limited to allow the range extender to replenish the battery. With the gas engine running, they claim a range of over 600 miles. But again, that's on the CLTC test. Approximating EPA would bring that number down. If tank turns are not crazy enough, how about water fording up to 1 meter deep and deeper with the optional snorkel air intake to feed the gas engine. But it gets really weird with emergency float. This feature too has some misconceptions. It is not a feature you actively turn on. It's being offered as a passive safety system. When the vehicle senses you've entered water that's too deep, it turns off the engine and closes the air openings in the vehicle, allowing it to float for up to 30 minutes. The wheels keep turning on the battery alone. And why does the sunroof open? I love this detail. It allows the passengers to escape in case the SUV starts to sink. Some engineer came up with that nice touch, and I want to congratulate them. Yangwang recommends you have your vehicle inspected after an emergency float event caused by an unexpected flash flood, or more likely from one of those hold my beer moments at the lake. The interior is high-tech and plush. Lots of displays, lots of speakers, refrigerated center console, very ultimate. It features their D-Pilot advanced driving assistance system. On the highway, it offers assisted driving that's not different from other automakers' Level 2 Plus systems, think Cadillac Super Cruise. Unlike those systems, it also provides some assistance in city driving with the help of 3 LiDAR sensors, one at the top of the windshield and one on each side of the vehicle, 5 millimeter wave radars, 14 ultrasonic radars, 16 high-definition cameras. All those sensors feed into 2 NVIDIA Drive Orin processors. Now, Cadillac had planned for a system called Ultra Cruise with a LiDAR sensor and similar potential, but that system has been delayed. Now, it's not clear what features of the D-Pilot system are available now and which ones will come later with over-the-air software update, but it's very clear that it's a high-powered system with lots of sensors. By the way, that is the LiDAR sensor in the middle, and the other pods on the right and left, those are mounts for roof accessories. No sensors in there. Maybe people are starting to think that pods on the top of the windshield are cool and high-tech looking, while others consider them an eyesore. Speaking of advanced, the U8 uses BYD's DSUS-P technology in this and other vehicles to do some crazy active suspension stuff. I did another video on the complete lineup of BYD brands, so check that one out if you like. It integrates mechanical, hydraulic, and electronic control systems for on- and off-road intelligent control. It can even help maintain control of the SUV if one of the tires suddenly goes flat. Altogether, that's one crazy SUV for about $150,000 in China. Now, if they were to sell this in Europe or North America, the price would go up. There are tariffs that would be added, shipping costs, and the expense of setting up sales, service, and a distribution network. But if a plug-in SUV is not your thing, what about an all-electric hypercar? The U9 is just about to launch with nearly 1,300 horsepower from 4 electric motors. 0 to 62 in under 2 seconds, top speed is limited to only 186 miles per hour. Like the U8, it also features LFP batteries and rides on the E4 platform. So, does that mean it can perform a tank turn? Yes, apparently it can. And like the U8, it can actually submerge in water Nah, I'm just kidding. The U9 does not offer emergency float, so keep that straight when you drive one. U9 float, U8 sink. Wait, no, sorry, it's the other way around. Got it? Good. The U9 features DSUS-X body control system. The released videos of it driving around successfully with one wheel missing, performing a standing jump, but presumably it will help it handle the track like a beast. Tires are super wide, like the Rimac Navara, which is probably the best comparison, although that car is far more expensive. Exterior looks mean. Interior, I'm going to say, is a little disappointing. But who cares what I think? What do you think? Given the chance to buy a U8 or a U9 for the same price, which would you choose? Type it in the notes and give a reason. Or maybe you would choose the Yangwang U7 for a little less money. It's their version of the ultimate electric sedan. It's just been revealed with a few details, anticipated to launch later in 2024. Headlines are it's a quad motor with massive power like the U9, likely offers the DSUS active suspension technology. This is yet another vehicle off the E4 platform, so that's very versatile and flexible. It looks long and sleek, and it is longer than some of its imported competitors. Chinese market likes roomy rear seat capacity. Some automakers offer an extended version of the vehicles they sell outside of China to meet that expectation. You can see a LiDAR sensor along the top of the windshield and black windows on each side. So it likely has that same 3 LiDAR sensor system as the U8 SUV. We've only seen glimpses of the interior, but has a flow similar to the U8 SUV with 3 display layout and an ultra premium interior. There are door handles, but a test vehicle was shown offering a clever knock to open feature on the rear doors. That's pretty neat. In China, when vehicles get close to launch, the manufacturer files paperwork with the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. Some details about the U8 have been leaked out from those applications. It has a 135.5 kilowatt hour battery, still LFP chemistry, but it comes from a subsidiary of BYD called FinDreams. That's a fairly large battery, and it gives this sedan impressive range. Almost 500 miles, but again, that's on China's CLTC test. Since it has a large battery and uses LFP battery chemistry, and it's longer than some of its competition, it's also heavy. Yangwang did not reveal acceleration numbers, but it may be held back a little by that extra weight. Still, you should expect stupid fast acceleration from this vehicle. And those other high-performance electric sedans get expensive when you opt for the all-wheel drive performance models that I'm comparing it to. Yangwang, on the other hand, keeps it more, dare I say, affordable for the China market. And Western brands made outside of China have an import tax on them, so they get even more expensive. You can see why BYD thinks buyers in China will choose Yangwang vehicles or one of their other premium brands. They're selling the vehicles through premium dealers that also deal with those same imported brands. So it's not the same shopping experience that you would get when buying a BYD. And I think that's smart. As far as exporting these vehicles to other markets, as I mentioned before, Europe and the US have their own tariffs in place. Europe is looking to make that barrier higher, and establishing a dealer network in another market and building brand reputation doesn't come cheap. NIO and Xpeng are finding out that selling in Europe isn't easy. It takes time and a lot of money and commitment to get it done. But Yangwang has something else those companies don't have. They have now the largest electric vehicle manufacturer in the world backing them up. I personally don't expect Yangwang vehicles to make it to the US market. I think the emergency float feature would make trial lawyers' heads explode. But if BYD really wants to make it happen, they could just burn money to force the issue. I did a recent video on what BYD is up to in Mexico, so check that one out after watching this one. And hey, we're at the end, so thanks for watching.